What's going on, guys? We are back in the Dino's van build. Now, if you've not been on the channel before, I am converting a Transit Custom into a camper van. And at the moment, we're pretty darn far in the process. Now, if you're wondering how I got to this stage, you can simply go on the channel. You can find every single video on how I've done everything, i.e. roof, floor, furniture, everything there is to get to this point where we're at. Now, what I'm going to be doing today is a couple of jobs. I've got the Bluetooth Renogy module, I believe this to be called, and what this does is allows me to know what sort of power is going in and out of the battery by the Renogy DC to DC charger. And I am also looking at fitting the diesel heater. Now, I've had the diesel heater for a little while, I just haven't got around to doing it. Today, it is pretty late, it's 5 o'clock in the evening, so I'll start it today. I'll be finishing it tomorrow, but that will all be in this video. So what we need to do first is just add this Bluetooth module, I believe it to be, and that, as I say, will allow us to know what power we are using. So in this video we have a star guest. The wife is appearing, the firecracker. So what I'm going to be doing with this basically comes on just a wire with a connector on, which plugs into the DC to DC charger, and it's pretty simple just to apply, install. The only thing I don't know how to do is how to use it, so we'll be using instructions as to how and what it does. I believe it's just an app that you download onto your phone, and then that will instruct you and guide you on all power input and output. If that fails, I have got a battery voltage meter which I bought before this come. Now, the reason I haven't put this in just yet was because when I ordered it as a bundle, only for Renogy to say that they didn't have this in stock and this will come with me about 30 days later. So I bought this just in case. Then this has come, so this might not be needed. So let's install this. So once plugged into the RSJ45, was it? There's only one place it can plug in anyway. You can see it's got a little green light on. That is now on, power on. So what we'll try and do is just connect that with my phone via Bluetooth, with it being BT, Bluetooth 2, and we'll see what is happening. Oh, so there it is, I think, BTTH. And I'm pretty sure I've got to download an app first. Is that what it says? No. Yeah, to download an app. So first we'll download the app. So we found it on the Google Store. This is Android. DC Renogy Home app. Install. Now, if you're wondering why I haven't put a video on, we have been to Lithuania just recently and we had a bit of a blast, didn't we? Seeing some family and friends, and it was a lovely time. So I'll chuck you a couple of clips up on there now of us having a great time. And this wasn't in the van, so hence we didn't record it as a video for YouTube. It was personal, but we are thinking of going that way probably next year and doing Europe next year, so then we'll do a video. But here we are, here's some Lithuania. So after installing, it's pretty simple. It's just a case of registering. You give them the email address, they send you over a 4-digit code, you give them a password and it gets you in. So now it'll just be a case of linking it like so. And you'll notice there is a blue dot now flashing, which I do believe must be it linking. So at this point, me and Sandra were really struggling to find out how to use this Bluetooth, but we did get there in the end, guys. Just took a little bit of time. So we're currently trying to work out how to use this app, and I think we need to do a little bit of a revision. But it's up, it's working, we have connection, it's telling us the battery is fully charged, and well, that's good enough for me. So if we move now on to trying to find a spot and as to where we're going to put the diesel heater, we have a multitude of areas. We're thinking either under here, possibly under there, as you can see, it can go anywhere. So what we're going to do now is try and find location for diesel heater. Nighttime mode. Daytime mode. Right, so what we're going to do now is we'll unpack the diesel heater. I've gone for the Chinese diesel heater. I've seen they're pretty good for value of money, so that's what we're going to go for. I just need to find a spot as to where to put it and where it's going to be able to drill through the floor, as I have got a turret plate. I've got a different plate. It's a 60mm plate. I've gone for the different plate. So what we'll do is we'll drill the circumference through the bottom of the floor, adhesing that down. Adhesing? That is a word, isn't it? Adhesing. Sticking it down to the ground. We're going to have the pipe, the inlet and outlet going through the bottom, running along the bottom. We'll separate them, of course. I'm also going to put a CO2 meter somewhere, monitor, within the vehicle, just to make sure that we're not going to die of carbon dioxide poisoning, which wouldn't be good, would it? And then obviously I have bought, and I'll put in the link as well, all these items I'll put the link in the description. I've also bought fuel pipe line that goes into the sender unit on the top of the fuel tank from Ford Transit Custom Conversions. I believe that was around £20. So that's going to go in the top of the line. We're not putting the tank on the inside of the vehicle like some people, because if you was to spill any diesel, good luck getting rid of that smell. So let's try and find somewhere to put this bad boy. So amongst all the mess and deciding as to where we put this, I've had a look under here. Originally I was going to put it under this, poking out here, pushing heat into the centre of the room sort of thing, but underneath there's too much structure, I won't be able to drill through. Then secondly, I thought about putting it in here and bringing it out. I don't know if you can see just the bottom of this, but then that would reduce the size of the water containers we can put in there for the sink. Thirdly, possibly in here, but then that's going to break up all this space that we can use for storage. So the idea I'm coming up with right now is probably using under this cabinet and losing half of this cabinet and having the heater coming through and down here. All I've got to do is check underneath and make sure that I can drill through. If I can, I think that's going to be the spot. Welcome to underneath the belly of the beast. Now, where I'm considering was just next to the wheel arch, which I don't know if you can see, but running alongside the inside of the wheel here, there is about 6 inches to 8 inches of metal with no construction underneath, where I believe I'll be able to drill through. So that may be the possibility of our choice. It's very tight under here. As you've seen, that was the underneath the belly of the beast, but now we're back inside. I'm just going to quickly show you where it is that I plan on putting it. So this here is the area next to the wheel arch, which I said is around 6 to 8 inches worth of drilling space, which is free from construction underneath or any bits of metal going across any structure. And then I plan on leading the air pipe round with the outlet valve or outlet vent there, and that I believe is the best place for me to put it in mine due to the construction of the inside of my furniture. It is dark now. This lady needs a cup of tea and so do I. So we'll get back to you in the morning when it comes to maybe drilling the big hole for this. So day 2 and we're back on this diesel heater build. Now, one thing I am happy about this build right now is the fact that I've got these lights in and they're working, because now I don't need to have the doors open and there'll be a big gust coming through just to get light, which is always handy. What I'm going to do next, okay, so we need to drill the hole through the base of the van, but to do that, obviously I'm doing it under here. I need to take this off, I need to take this off to get this off, and then we'll start drilling. It is only early, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, so I'm sure my neighbours are going to love me, but I only have so many hours in the day, so let's get cracking. All stripped down. I've looked underneath and checked that the turret plate fits under there, which is good because it does. And I've just marked out the centre area, which I'm just going to drill a pilot hole through first and just make sure that that is where I think it is underneath. Pretty certain it is, as this is the wheel arch. I can see it underneath, and we've got about to about here to play with. So obviously the hole is going to be drilled here, pipe, so on and so forth. Fucking hell, piece of shit. Back under the belly of the beast, and I've just got muck in my eye. Look at it, it's filthy under here. Anyone should think you should wash it, eh? Right, there's the hole. So we know that we've got enough space there. That is where we're going to be drilling. That is where we're going to do the big circular hole, and that is where it's going to be. Now it's time to bring out the big guns. Hopefully we get this right. Start drilling this a bit. We've got a bit of fluff. We'll take that out. And we've got to poke that bit of wood out. Unbelievable scenes! We're through! We have our hole. Ooh, nervous! Now what we better do is hope and pray that this fits, because this, I believe, was 130. The hole saw was 127, as in millimetres. Now the next one was going to be a lot larger, it was like 150, and I wanted a tight fit. So, here goes. It fits! Winning! Quick clean up with this one, and what we'll do then is we'll get underneath, we'll put the plate in. I've now got to fix the plate to the Chinese diesel heater, and I'll put the attachments on, make sure it all looks good, and then I'm going to treat the metal where it's cut with no other than Ultra Zinc Primer, because we don't want no rust problems later on. Let's get this in. Now the hole is drilled, we'll go through the components with a little bit more detail. So I have an air intake with a filter, which is obviously going to be separated from the exhaust, which is here. That's going to go on the end. We've got all the clips and stuff we need, all the clips and screws. They're self-tapping screws as well, which seems good, so we can get through some metal. We've got the Jubilee clips to clip all the pipes together. We've got a fuel line. That, I believe, is for the pump, maybe. No, not too sure what that's for just yet, but we'll work that when we get there. All the wiring loom with the monitor, cable ties, pipe to go on the end of this, which is obviously going to force out the air. I mean, all in all, pretty good. And one thing I've found with this as well is obviously it's a Chinese heater. Now, a lot of people normally have Chinese instructions. I don't. I have English. But me being a man, we don't need that. Let's get cracking. One thing I am finding interesting is how am I going to tighten this? Because I don't have a socket to fit it. I have bigger sockets. It's a very delicate procedure. It'd take me forever. Now we've come across another problem. This Jubilee clip is not big enough for this bit here. But that's not a problem. I can get another one for that now. We can use this still for the bottom of here with great difficulty getting them on, because they're not the easiest with the tools that I have right now. But we'll have to come back to this and, well, get another Jubilee clip. Not only does the Jubilee clip fit, it's not even doing anything now. So we are going to have to get some new ones. What a pain. Okay, so we're back in the game. Once again, Screwfix has come to the rescue. I'm using 16 to 27 mil Jubilee clips on this pipe, and you might find that you might have to do two. You may be lucky, you might get Jubilee clips that fit, but there was no way on this earth I was going to get them Jubilee clips to fit on this pipe, and we don't want to try and force them on and break the pipe itself. So it's always better just get them bigger ones. It cost me £4, you know. It's just more the inconvenience of having to go and get them, really, isn't it? It's a pain in the arse. So I've just treated it with the Ultra Zinc Premier. That will stop any rust. By golly, it's quite strong. I feel almost like a little bit high off that. But now we're trying to feed the pipes through. This can be a little bit of a pain. So with great difficulty and a lot of messing about, we've got it in. We've got the exhaust position where I want it. We've got the air intake position where I want it. Boy, it was difficult because you can't tighten the Jubilee clips that tight, or I struggled with the tools I had. Every time I was trying to position it, it was coming off, but I've managed to do it. I've got them all tight. I've put a little bit of treatment around all the metals and we're good to go. So what I've got to do now is drop the tank and put what I said was, so the diesel heater feed kit. So basically I got this from Transit Custom Conversions. As I said, I will put the link in the description. I've got to drop the tank and I've got to get this in and get the fuel line in. I've only got about 3 hours left, so I better get cracking because it's going to start getting dark soon. It's taken longer than I thought it would. The joys. Now what you're going to want is a socket which is a 13mm to loosen these up. There's not a lot of fuel in this at the minute, so that's good. Obviously it won't be too heavy. Okay, so I've decided not to take the front down because I don't want to unloosen the pipe lines at the front, the diesel lines. But by taking the rear down, you can see the sender unit here, and this little nipple is where we'll put the feeder pipe into. I've just got to navigate myself around there. Okay, so I'm not too sure how much you can see, but on this little bung here, what I want to do is just try and chop it level with the little rim on it. And then what I'm going to do is feed the pipe in from Custom Conversions, as it has a bung on it. Unfortunately, all I have is a blade. This makes it a little bit more difficult, but it's going. You need to keep it nice and flush, just like so. Now there's a hole in top, and then you can see on this pipe here it's got a little bung, and that there is going to slot straight into it. And then when we pop this clip on top, that will keep it tight. Obviously your feeder pipe from the diesel heater is going to go on here. Look how dirty I am. And that's how we're doing it. And the next step would be just to pop this into the tank until it finds the bottom. I'm not going to show you, it's quite tight under there, but you find the bottom and then obviously give it a little bit of relief so that it's not basically going to run you dry in the night, so that, you know, if for instance you are low on fuel, then it will stop before you run out, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Which, to be honest, works out roughly about halfway. So I'm going to stick half that in, stick the clip on, and then we're going to attach the fuel line. But obviously we've got to put the fuel pump in, the fuel filter as well, and that will be the job next. But before I put that in, what I am going to do is going to put some of this line on first, because it's probably going to be difficult to get it in once this is all together. So what I'm going to do is just push some of this onto here, which is quite tight. Make sure it's all the way. And then I'm going to cut X amount off so that the fuel pipe can then go into this, and that will surface like that. So there's the fuel line in, and then we push this on, and that there is clips that. So that's a nice tight fit. And then we just need to chop this line down, put the fuel pump on, put the fuel filter on, put this back up. And of course it started raining. Would you believe it? Why wouldn't it? So Dino's going to get wet. So again with this, I'm going to cut some of this line, put this on already, put some on this side. Now the fuel pump is to go at 30 odd degrees upwards. This is the position upwards. If you do look on here, beyond this rubber attachment, you can see an arrow, and the arrow is pointing up, so that's where your up goes. That is the angle you want to be going. So up like that, And then obviously the filter running in between the fuel tank and the pump. Now this needs to be situated as close to the fuel tank as possible. So we are back under the belly of the beast. It's not very easy to maneuver this to get it up. But if you're like me and you go to the gym, you shouldn't have no problem. Luckily there's not too much fuel in it, so we're sweet as in that. And as you can see, it's pretty wet out here right now as well. The only thing we've got to do now is position the pump and the filter. So we're back under the belly of the beast. Now I had already installed this, but what I'd done is I put this on the wrong way round, this bracket. So I have come back under and I've corrected that. Also, these rubbers, I'm going to get some Jubilee clips to put around these because I'm not too sure about the clips that they've given me. They don't look too strong. So that will all be done. But now all I've got to do is prime this and check to make sure everything's working okay. Now I had already installed this, so this is a bit of a pain, but you're going to do something, do it right, eh? So what I'm doing here, guys, is simply putting the positive into the back of the control panel. Now this is fused and also this is fused anyway, so that will work as a good safety precaution. And then I'm putting the negative straight into the buzz bar. The buzz bar is earthed anyway, so there's your circuit. Now we'll get that done and then we'll check to see if the electrics work, and hopefully they will. That's the electrics all wired up. Now I'll probably place this somewhere up here and hide the wires behind this pillar panel, because obviously there's a panel here that we can hide that. It's on the switch, so if I turn this on right now, bang, there we go. So everything's wired up correctly. Now I've got to work out how it is that you prime this. I think 20 seconds priming. I can hear it priming now. Realistically, I think I should be underneath, checking to make sure that there is diesel coming through. Okay, I've just got to quickly go underneath, check to make sure that there is diesel going through there. And I need to work out how to do this, so it might be a quick look on YouTube for a video. Give me 2 secs. So that is it, guys. I am happy to say we are working, firing on all cylinders. Can you hear the roar of that beast? That's chucking out some good hot air, and that's going to keep us warm in the cold nights, which I'm really happy about. Obviously the finishing touch will just be to put this pipe on, which is going to sort of sit like this through to there, with obviously the vent coming out at the bottom of here like that, but on the other side. So it was a success. That is how I've done my diesel heater. Whether it be right or wrong, I don't know, but it's working for me. It's pumping out warm air, and that's good enough for me. The next video, guys, is going to be Sandra, my wife, doing the cushions on the furniture, which should be a treat. The firecracker will be in that quite a lot. But for now, guys, that is the video. Thanks for watching. Thank you to all the subscribers, all the messages and people that are asking what about how I've done these things and, you know, where I get the stuff from. Everything that I've put or used here will be linked in the description. And yeah, that's it for me, guys. Just a massive tidy up now, as you can see. The van's an absolute shithole, but I'll probably do that tomorrow morning after the gym. Operation mission complete. Take it easy, guys. Thank you. Goodbye.